welcome to a brand new week. This is Afternoon Express and I'm Jeannie D.
Yeah, you're still buzzing from Africa Burn. I could actually still see smoke coming out of your hair.
I'm just the happiest girl in the world today. I literally had the most amazing
awesome?
experience. It was just, it's a collection of just such amazing creative people. It was really such a beautiful experience. I'm so glad I went.
Well, we're glad you made it back, Jeans.
Thank you.
Before we get into the show today, we just want to send our heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and fans of media personality Akumzi Jezile, Siasanga Kobese and Tobani Mseleni, who passed away on Saturday in a tragic car accident. They were with two more friends who also lost their lives as well, and our thoughts and prayers do go out to their families.
Absolutely devastating news. Now, we hope that you had a wonderful long weekend so far, and if you managed to get to the day off today as well, then we hope it continues to be just as great. Now, it's the last day of April, last day of my birthday month, and the start of a brand new week, and today we've got some really incredible guests joining us.
Of course, and for all your science buffs out there, we'll be sitting down with Senamile Masango. She's the founder and chairperson of Women in Science and Engineering in Africa, and she had the opportunity to work at CERN, the world's largest particle physics laboratory in Switzerland. We're going to find out exactly what that is.
Absolutely incredible. Then Durban viewers might recognize the voice of Nomfundo Clarissa from Gagasi FM. Now, she started her radio career while she was only 18 years old and had to juggle her studies and hosting the graveyard shift from 1 to 4 a.m. She's a truly inspiring woman with such an incredible story of how she made a success of her career.
And we've also got dog trainer Shanae Majin joining us, and she's brought along an adorable trained guide dog by the name of Luke. We'll be chatting about what it takes to actually become a guide dog.
And joining us first is a true workhorse in the South African music business. He's released more than 20 albums in his career and has worked with a host of local legends, including Brenda Fassie, Ray Piri, and Sepotsola. So he has seamlessly crossed genre boundaries and managed to stay relevant for more than a quarter of a century. It's none other than Jonina.
I'm so happy. There are times to break up and times to make up. Oh, we back together for life. Oh, honey, yeah, baby, so happy together for life. Please hear me, time leave times to break up and times to. When I realize that you're gone.
Beautiful. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Well, it's an absolute honor to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, listening to your music and reading about your life and your achievements and your career, I mean, one can't help but ask, 27 albums?
To date, yes.
That is insane. I mean, what's your process when you're creating music? Because that's a lot. I mean, I think musicians can only dream of being able to create so much over the span of their career.
I think I was fortunate to live with the legends from my early age. Since I was growing up, I grew up in a family of musicians. So I knew all their greats, and all I could do was nothing but music. So every day there's a song, I will go into the studio. Unfortunately for me, I think I was lucky to be the first of the few that had the studios at home.
Yeah.
Since the 80s and the 90s and to date. So every day there's a song, I'll put it together. Like for now, I think I still have like 1.2 terabytes full of music besides what I've released so far.
Wow.
So I'm still going on strong, and I'm loving it. And there's just that there's differences and different moments where like now the music is so commercialized, it's like, oops, should I release, should I not, should I release, should I not? But either way, I go for it.
Yeah.
You obviously have a really strong work ethic. Please tell us what influenced that. But also, apart from just having a strong work ethic, you've also managed to stay away from the elements in the industry that really hold people down or sabotage people's growth in the industry. Yes. How have you been able to overcome that?
Challenges are always there. You know, I'm just happy and rather I'm lucky that I decided that I would never take challenges as something that's supposed to be an obstacle. I decided that challenges will be an exercise that can just make me strong. So if there's a challenge of, like, for instance, the change of the genre of music, do I want to follow? Do I want to say, if you can't beat them, join them? Or do I just keep to myself and say, if my fans love me, if they love my music, and I give it my best shot, and I give it all my love, will they follow me? And so far to date, that's what has been happening. You know, I've just decided, okay, this is the genre I'm gonna do. If you recall very well, I am, and I've been saying it a lot lately, this makes me smile, like I am the creator of Kwaito music. And a lot of them haven't been saying it, so I decided I will blow my own horn. I'm tired of people not saying it. I'm
you're
gonna
tired
say
of waiting. Yeah.
Yes, and eventually when Kwaito became monotonous for me, I changed, and then I created something from Pakanga. Before I know it, that was called Afropop, which became also monotonous for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the style that I'm doing, which I'm not sure what to call it, because it's music. For me, all the time, music has got a lot of different elements. And I'm going on strong. And more than anything, the first question you ask is, what's keeping me there? And I think growing up in the music family, you know, my mother was a backing vocalist in my father's band. So you can imagine, I was at my mother's back all the time from the age of 3, the age of 4. Yes, I started battling with the drums at the age of 6. I was playing the piano kind of professionally at the age of 12.
Wow.
I had my first LP, which is called vinyl today, at the age of 14.
And were you ever like classically trained or professionally trained, or were you just learning from being in that environment?
That's what I'm loving as well, is that I've been just learning from different people in different aspects. I remember when I had a beautiful lady from here, she helped me write a song called Precisely, Sulabna. She was trying so much to teach me the theory on piano, and I would take a few things and a few things there, and then I'll disappear, because I always believe that there's so much that I want to part with from within me, and I've got it my way. I've got my own technique, my own way of doing things, which eventually I hope I'll be able to teach the few that are up and coming how I do it and how I've been managing to do it to date.
You also run your own record label called Killer Joe.
Yes.
What kind of artists do you love to work with, or do you just say, I'm attracting talent, and if you're willing to work, my stable is yours?
How I started Killer Joe Records, it was through Praray Piri, may his soul rest in peace, who is one of the people I'm featuring on my current album. He's the one who actually came back from the States and decided he's going to call me Killer Joe from the likes of Quincy Jones. And we decided to form a company together called Killer Joe Records. But what I tried to date to do within the company itself is that I'm looking for a unique kind of a genre of music. I'm looking for talent more than anything. I'm not looking for anything that is just commercial, because for me, these kids are getting popular now. They've got 2 or 3 albums, and then what happens is that as soon as they realize that they don't have it anymore, they get frustrated, they get deep into drugs, they get into the streets, they become terrible characters because now they feel like failures. But if we were, as producers, as owners of the companies, we were to look at building them and decide, okay, there's so much that can be done in our industry. We don't have to only do hip-hop only. We don't only have to do house only. There's so much. There's still Mpakanga, which I believe it's not been taken care of. There's still Istatamia. Here's Black Mambazo, they've got a Grammy, and no one on the young kids is following it. I just saw a few, 3 of them. So I'm looking for those kind of genres of music in my label, that is.
But if you look at record labels nowadays, a lot of them have got a really bad reputation for not financially looking after the artist. So I think, you know, in the age of the internet and where you know, music is at the moment, why should somebody join a record label as opposed to just working solo and self-representing? I mean, what are the pros and cons?
For commercial purposes, I think the online is working great for them, you know, because the downloads are working amazingly. I just got into it now, like I'm on Instagram too, just so you know.
We'll find you.
Oh goodness, it's all about the gram. We love Instagram.
Yes, and Facebook and all. But it works for that kind of genre because most of those kind of young up-and-coming artists, they love going social. But when you're talking my kind of music, people still want to buy CDs. As much as they want to kill the CD industry, people still want to go out there and buy CDs. And now to do that, it's expensive. You need to have a proper company with the proper capital to do your actual marketing and all of that. So it depends. It depends on how you're approaching the record company, because I believe, like for instance, this album, as much as I have Killer Joe Records, I did this album with Carlo because I wanted to go big and bigger than I can imagine and bigger than I can invest out of my own pocket. And I think it's working towards that direction as we speak. So it just depends how far you want to go with your career and how far you want to take it. And do you, in the process, want to make the difference?
Well, you definitely went big and commercial, so much so that you're once again nominated for a SAMA Award.
Yes.
How are you feeling about that?
Smiling.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Especially after all the other awards that you've won. Does it
Yes.
still have an impact on you?
To be honest, it's been a while since I've released something and it has been recognized because if you know, our industry is like what's happening now and it's about commercial
Relevance,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I was called and say you must come to Petrude, you are nominated, I was like, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. And I what should I wear? You know, to be honest, I am actually happy because it shows that I am somehow still relevant.
Yeah.
But I would know for sure because the people that I am nominated with, they're also good artists, especially Sipogazi. I think she's brilliant. And the other, they are young. I'm not sure who they are really, but I hope that we will all get there and make sure that whoever wins will be carrying that flag and with pride and dignity, because for me, when you win an award, there's something further on that you need to go with, and you must know that it's all the responsibility in your hands.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I hope you've planned something to wear.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
We really are enjoying your humility, and it really stands out.
Much appreciated.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
Joe will be performing live at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned to see a legend in action. Coming after the break, we chat to Gagasi FM's Nomfundo Clarissa, who shares her inspiring story of dedication and sacrifice. Don't go away.
Hello, South Africa. Are you ready for me?
Present the search on SABC3. We're out here.
Would you want to see me on your TV?
Do you think that I have what it takes to become the next SABC3 presenter?
It's me you are looking for. When you present, you have to be passionate about it.
Just put me in front of a camera and I'll show you how it's done.
Tune in to Presenter Search on 3
On the 10th of May, 7:30 sharp.
on SABC3.
The stage is yours. Presenter Search on 3, proudly brought to you by Capitec and McCafe.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, joining us now is a woman whose voice is well known on the Durban airwaves. Nomfundo Clarissa has been in the radio business since she was 18 years old, running the graveyard shift from 1 to 4 a.m. on the local community station.
She eventually worked her way up to mainstream radio on Gagasi FM, where she now hosts her own Saturday afternoon show, and she's also the founder of an NPO called Clarissa Cares, which runs a mentorship program for young women from her community.
Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you, ladies.
I loved reading your story so much because it reminded me so much. I started on radio when I was 18 and I moved to Cape Town, and I also did the graveyard shift. And so when I was reading how difficult it was for you, I remembered how it's so hard.
It is.
I don't think a lot of people understand how exhaustion can actually drive you mad.
That's real. I think when you're actually going through it, you don't even realize how exhausting it is until you get, or you just take the step forward, and then you look back and you're just like, I did that? No ways. Why did I put myself through that? But then when you love it, you almost don't feel it at all.
Yeah. And you had this deep hunger for it.
I did. I think it was more excitement more than anything else because I was venturing into something that I've never done before, and everything the pieces just kept on coming together, and I was like, I'm not stopping now. I mean, I've gone this far.
You know, being on this couch with so many inspiring people who come in and out of the loft. It never ceases to impact me how much people go through to build their dreams. Everyone from a distance, especially with just millennial fever, people feel like things should happen really fast and things happen overnight. But just take us through the paces of where you began this journey, and it was not an easy one.
It wasn't easy. I mean, as a young person, which I've come to understand that everybody goes through it when you're young and you've just finished school and all these options are out there for you and you don't know which one to pick. So I just found myself in a position where, being into radio wasn't even a goal. It was something that really did spark my interest, but for being exposed to a place where I was like, I can actually do this. I can actually get it done. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see how it goes on. And then you start making references to people that you've been listening to, and you're just like, oh my goodness, so this person, is this how it really goes? Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So as I started college, I started my radio course, my radio production course, and a few months later into it, I go to a community radio station, I'm from Inanda, so it's there at Inanda FM. So I go there, and I just went there for an internship. I was like, guys, here's my CV. I didn't have a demo recorded. And I was like, I'm just here to become an intern. And they were like, what show would you want to do? I was like, because I'm young and I think that I'll just relate to younger people. I want to have a youthful show. And this guy is sitting there looking at me like, what is this child mumbling about? So I eventually record my demo, and he goes and listens to it. And he comes back and he's like, so do you want to start training tomorrow? I was like, training for what exactly? He's like, no, for you to be an on-air personality. I was like, okay. Okay.
But even with that, it took years before you were actually earning money for this, right?
It does. It takes time.
So what did you do in between to make it all work?
So what had happened was that this was my first year in college when I was 18. So that was what I did for about 2 to 3 years. So there's no actual income from it. So my family has to provide for that. And I live with my grandmother. So she literally had to provide for me to go to college, with everything else that goes along with that, and also this other career that I was trying to pursue. Wow. Oh, mommy! And this other career that I was trying. Absolutely. And eventually it got to a point where I graduated and I went to them. I was like, guys, now I have time because I've been in school 5 days a week and I'm just working on the weekend, sleeping at work, waking up in the morning, rushing home, trying to sleep and gather myself, And I got to a place where I was like, guys, I'm available, so if there's anything that, I can help out with, I have the time, I'm offering my services. So by God's grace, I guess, I eventually managed to get a primetime show, which was the Drive Time show. I think I was the first, or at the time, the only young female presenter that was actually anchoring an afternoon Drive Time show at the time. So that was really amazing for me, but because I still wanted to go forward and do more, you don't really get a chance to get stuck in it and be like, oh my goodness,
yeah,
hey
you
guys.
can't get complacent.
You can't
just gotta
at
keep
all.
it moving.
You have to continue.
I mean, we're running out of time, so I quickly want, you were so dedicated that I heard you would sleep at the radio station just because you didn't have transport to get there and you lacked mentorship. But now you've started Clarissa Cares, which is providing that mentorship to so many other girls who've got similar dreams to you. So quickly give us an outline on how that started and what you're doing in it.
So It's basically a mentorship program that I started because I just felt like nobody taught me these things, you know. When I was young, everybody was all over the place. What are you doing? What do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to do that. Okay, cool. Go and get it done. And when you're stuck in a place where you're literally the only person that you know that's doing anything of that sort, there's nobody there that's actually there to guide you besides just the support to say, go, do whatever it is. But there's no actual guidance. Take these steps and go forward. So Clarissa Cares is more about that, where we try to eliminate all the other inconsistencies that are around growing up as a young woman in South Africa and saying, this is what you're going to go through. So be prepared for that and have a plan. And whatever happens, don't let the plan fail you. And always have a plan B.
Wow.
Even if you fail with your plan A. And I wish somebody had told me that, because the moment something doesn't work out, you panic. And you're just like, oh my goodness, what have I done wrong? What am I going to do with myself now?
Yeah.
So our main focus is to be able to get them to keep on moving forward, keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And also with even older South African women, people of our age, in our mid-20s and our early 30s, just to be able to mentor the kids and say, guys, we went through that. It's not that bad. You're going to get over it. You're going to be fine. Like, it's going to get better. Whatever bad situation that you're stuck in and you feel like nothing is working out, it's not permanent.
It's not the end.
It's not the end at all. Yeah.
And it's so awesome that you say that, because there's so many things that people find out that other people don't have to struggle finding out for another 2 years.
Sure.
You just mean like a jump on a road
Definitely.
versus just like years of trying to figure it out.
And I think also for young women, it's such a problem because for us, mentorship, we regard sometimes mentorship from our parents and our families, and it doesn't really come across that way. Because for us, there's always that element of fear and respecting. You're scared to ask these questions, and even so, you just think, oh, all these things that they're telling me, they don't know. Like, they don't know what I'm going through. They're old and they don't understand. So having somebody who's not that old, but who's been through what you've been through, telling you, and they relate to it, and you're like, oh my goodness, really? And you're just like, yes, we all go through it. It's just a little time gap that's there, and you don't listen to the parent because you just think, oh, they don't understand. You know, but they've been through that. And also, I think for the parents, they fail to relay the message in a way that says, be careful, rather than don't do this, don't do that. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to, you know, whatever it is, whatever warnings that come with that, you know, it's more of a keep it going, keep moving forward, take care of yourself.
Well, congratulations also on reaching more than 1 million listeners on
the
your
King's
show.
Drive.
Yes.
Yay.
That's really, really amazing. But, you know, with the work that you're doing with Clarissa Cares, it's such an important message that comes along, and that needs to be shared. It reminds me of a book that my favourite, Maya Angelou, wrote, Things I Wish My Mother Told Me. And it's exactly that. Just a little bit of guidance goes a really long way. So thank you for doing that. You're doing amazing work. And thank you for being here. Thank you. Still to come on Afternoon Express, we chat to nuclear scientist Senamile Masango, who was the first African woman to work at the famous CERN lab in Switzerland. Plus, we meet Luke, the adorable guide dog. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, South Africa. Are you ready for me?
Present the search on SABC3. We're out here.
Would you want to see me on your TV?
Do you think that I have what it takes to become the next SABC3 presenter?
It's me you are looking for. When you present, you have to be passionate about it.
Just put me in front of a camera and I'll show you how it's done.
Tune in to Presenter Search on 3
On the 10th of May, 7:30 sharp.
on SABC3.
The stage is yours. Presenter Search on 3, proudly brought to you by Capitec and McCafe.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, coming to you live this glorious Monday afternoon. Now, being visually impaired or having a physical disability is one of the greatest challenges anyone can face. Integrating and functioning in a society built for people with a gift of sight is extremely difficult. And that's where guide dogs come in. SA Guide Dogs Association is an organisation that is committed to making the lives of those who are visually impaired and have disabilities to live a life a little easier by training dogs to assist them in their daily lives. We're joined this afternoon by Shanae and the adorable Luke. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Luke. You beautiful, handsome boy.
He's made himself very comfortable.
Oh, no, he can stay. I mean, he's obviously very happy here. So I've been to a few fundraisers for the SA Guide Dogs Association, and I mean, the work that you guys do is absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Where did the idea of guide dogs first come from?
Well, funny enough, it's actually from a lady that came down and started guide dogs here in 1953.
In South Africa?
In South Africa. So she was
guide dogs across the world started here?
No, it started overseas, she came down here and founded it and started it here in 1953. So we've been going for quite a while now. So we've got our main branch up in Johannesburg and a small little satellite centre here in Cape Town. So,
Can all dogs be trained to be guide dogs? Because I know usually I've only seen like golden retrievers and Labradors.
They are our main breeds that we use. They're the right size, number one. They've got the right temperament. They're easygoing, they like to sleep and they like to work. So it's pretty much an all-rounder. We also use German Shepherds.
Okay,
so
those are the police dogs.
Yes, funny enough, they're great for guide dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to train a dog and how old are they when you start training them to be guide dogs?
Well, normally what happens is we breed our own guide dogs and then from about 8 weeks of age they go to a volunteer family where they are raised like a normal dog in a normal home environment where they get exposed to normal day-to-day things like vacuum cleaners and hair dryers and things. And we do a puppy class once a week for the first couple of months. And then only when they're about a year, they come to big school training. So that is like when they're actually mature enough to take on the role of becoming a guide dog.
But what does the training consist of? Because I think that must be so difficult. And for somebody who is visually impaired, I can imagine it's the hardest thing to trust this dog.
It is. Well, they normally, when they come into training, it's normally about 4 to 6 months that us, a trainer, trains them. And then once they are ready, we will look for somebody on our waiting list that suits that particular dog that's now ready. So, for example, we'll look at the dog's speed and then we'll look at our waiting list and see what person on that waiting list suits that dog. So their speed, their personality, what they want to do day to day, where they work, do they catch public transport, all those things are very, very important. And then, and then once we've matched them, they move in and we have to train that blind person and the dog one-on-one.
Together.
So it's like teaching someone to drive a car. So we have to teach them how to work their guide dog.
And what do you do in that training? Because I'm thinking, being visually impaired, what is the process to learning how to trust a dog, especially if you are going to be alone with the dog, taking public transport and moving around alone?
Well, when they move in, they get to do everything with their dog. So they get their own room and everything, and they have to feed their dog. We teach them how to brush their dogs, how to feed their dogs. We get them to start off slowly, how to basically just spend time and bond with the dog. And then we teach them how to use the handle, the harness. Once they understand everything you do with a dog, you have to give a voice command, a hand gesture, and a foot command to make a dog turn, for example. It's not just as easy as saying left and the dog goes left.
Okay.
You would have to do something with all of those 3 factors. So we teach them slowly, and it's over a 2-week period. And then once they've learned the basics, we start walking in quiet environments and then start getting to busier environments. And over those 2-week period, they start to trust their dogs more. And it's a gradual thing. It's not something that just happens overnight. And then once they go home, they know their home area a lot better, so their confidence comes back. So they actually do a lot better once they get home. And then we do those routes with them that they want to do, like to work, public transport, walking to the local shop, so they can carry on with their everyday life. And then after about 2 weeks of that, they're normally pretty much good to go. And then obviously we keep in contact with them right through the dog's working life, and we are on call for any time that they need us.
I mean, these dogs must be so smart. 2 weeks of training, essentially. It doesn't sound a lot.
Yeah, just with that blind person. So it's about a month in total with a new blind person. but they adapt so quickly. They
Can you
are
show me
amazing.
some of the things that they can do?
Oh, you know, to be honest with you, in such a small environment, they won't really be able to do anything because they are trained to walk in a straight line and take you around obstacles and stop at every down curb. And it's
How do they know when like a robot is red or
actually
green?
the blind person has to decide when to cross the road.
Oh, really? So it's the sound from the robot.
Yes, the blind person actually has to stand at the robot crossing, listen to the flow of traffic and decide when it's safe to cross the road, and then they will give the dog command to cross. We do basic traffic with them and things like that, you know, for in case a car does suddenly pull up, they will stop. But, you know, they're still a dog, they can't really decide when to cross the robot. But they actually adapt very well to the buzzing noises. They're actually very quick.
What is the process for a visually impaired person to apply for a dog?
Well, when someone applies for a guide dog, we go out and interview them, and it's normally about 3 hours long. So we have to find out what are their expectations of a guide dog. Can they afford a guide dog? Do they live in an environment that is safe for them and the guide dog? Do they have routes to do? If they don't have routes and they don't go anywhere and they just stay at home, there's no real need for a guide dog. I mean, they cost us 100,000 Rand to train one. So
For one dog?
For one dog. So it's
Okay,
a
so
lot
you've
of
obviously
work.
got a need for other people to get involved and obviously donate money. How can they do that?
Well, there's lots of ways you can sponsor a guide dog, but any bit of helps, you know. We do fundraisers throughout the entire year to try and raise funds for guide dogs. We've got quite a few fundraisers coming up, which are quite exciting. I hope everyone gets involved.
Yes, I'm keen.
Yeah, we've got a gala dinner coming up. We've got a Women's Day brunch coming up. We've got golf days coming. These are all huge fundraisers for us.
Amazing.
And every little bit helps for us because it costs such a lot of money to train one. And a blind person only pays 5 Rand for their guide dog. And they sign a contract with us. So they get their harness, they get all their equipment, they get 2 weeks board and lodging. So all this money, you know, it all costs quite a lot. So we're always needing
all of
funds.
those details we'll put on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za.
And they can go into our website as well.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being
it's
here.
a pleasure.
And thanks for bringing Luke.
It's a pleasure. He's such a good boy.
Oh, he's beautiful. Lending a hand to someone in need is something that we really should all be taught from an early age. Things like sight and physical mobility are things that we take for granted. Just put yourself in the shoes of someone who cannot see or has a disability that makes moving around really difficult, and you will realize just how hard life can be. Now that you have the knowledge about how important these guide dogs are for visually impaired people, you can have a task to lend a hand to this amazing organization. Visit Afternoon Express website for more information. Now, after the break, we sit down with one of South Africa's smartest women, nuclear scientist Senamile Masango. Plus, we've got a live performance coming up from legend Joe Nina. We'll be right back.
I kind of have like a headache.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, if you're enjoying watching our fur babies, Baxter and Donut, growing up on screen, make sure you also find them on Instagram. Follow The Adventures of Donut and The Adventures of Baxter on Instagram to keep up to date with their on and off-screen lives. They're most busy.
They're cute, they're cuddly, and they're TV stars. Baxter and Donut, the adorably fluffy four-legged members of the Afternoon Express family, are sharing their daily adventures on social media. To see what Baxter and Donut get up to behind the scenes, follow The Adventures of Baxter and The Adventures of Donut on Instagram.
Lovely to have you back with us on the couch. Our next guest has been dubbed the first African woman nuclear scientist. Senamile Masango earned the opportunity to spend part of her postgrad studies at the world-famous CERN laboratory in Switzerland and is also the founder of WISE, Women in Science and Engineering in Africa, that provides leadership and role models for young people wishing to enter the fields of science and technology. Welcome to the Love, Senamile. Lovely to have you with us.
Hi, how are you? And thanks for inviting me.
Oh, an absolute pleasure. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of sitting down and chatting to a nuclear scientist.
Really?
Yeah. What does the world of being a nuclear scientist entail?
Okay, basically what I do, I study the nuclear structure. I use the method that is called Coulomb excitation. So I want to tell you about it in simple terms. So basically, I don't know whether do you remember when you're having an atom, in the atom, and you will have your electrons, and your electrons, then you will share the dark things, and then you'll say this is your nucleus.
Yeah, so I remember that diagram. I have it in my head.
Yes, that diagram. So then your nucleus, it's having two particles. You have your protons and you have your neutrons.
Neutrons, yeah.
Your protons, they are charged, and your neutrons, they are neutral, so they are not charged. So what we're trying to understand as nuclear scientists, we're trying to understand the nuclear force that's holding these particles together. Unfortunately, no one knows and no one understands the nucleus until to this day. A nucleus, it's a complicated since it's a many-body problem.
But it's at the core of everything that lives in the universe,
yes, it's
right?
the core of everything in the universe. What we're trying to understand, why are these particles tied, hold together? We assume that there must be a strong interaction that happens inside. Mind you, a proton is charged and the neutron is not charged.
It's not
so
charged.
A nucleus, it's a complicated thing. It can have like three shapes. It can be a ball, spherical shape. It can be an oblate, rugby ball. You put it like that and you squash, or it can be oblate shape.
So this is so exciting. I'm already like, oh wow, so I'm interested in this.
That is the theory or experimental part. And then you will come to the application. I know been talking about nuclear energy.
So speaking of application, right? You then went to CERN in Switzerland to conduct an experiment.
Yes, I did.
What was this experiment about? So
one of the fundamental things that you must know as a nuclear scientist is the shape of the nucleus. As I told you in the beginning, that the nucleus has three shapes. So we are trying to understand the shape of selenium-70.
Mm-hmm.
So by understanding the shape of the nucleus, you will a certain shape has its own property. A certain shape has its own property. A certain shape has its own property. So we wanted to know about the selenium-70, of which we believe as nuclear scientists is a reaction that happened in the stars. So we want to know about the shape of this selenium-70.
So that's what your experiment entails.
Yes, that's what our experiment was all about. It was not my experiment, it was one of my colleagues' experiment. So as scientists or as researchers,
go as a team.
we work as a group. I was not the only one, as you see.
Well, congratulations, because it's quite a huge honor. You're one of the very few students who's been selected in your postgraduate studies to go to CERN, right?
Yes, you were few, and all of us, surprisingly, we are all coming from disadvantaged universities. Yes, and disadvantaged. I can't say I'm coming from a disadvantaged background, but university-wise, because my first degree, I obtained it at University of Zululand. And I'm from Gwanongoma. Usually, if you are from Gwanongoma and you graduated at University of Zululand, people will assume there's nothing good can come out of it.
Oh, wow.
So here I am. I'm a nuclear scientist from Gwanongoma. I'm a nuclear scientist that graduated from University of Zululand.
That's absolutely amazing. amazing. Not only that, you've also started an organization called WISE.
Yes, yes.
African Women in Science and Engineering.
Yes,
Tell us
yes.
about how you provide mentorship for them and why this is so close to your heart.
This is very, very close to my heart because when I started my first degree, I was 16 years old. So I didn't have any guidance. And believe you me...
you finished school quite early.
Yes,
eh?
I finished school quite early. So I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have a sister who will say, Senamile, you must watch out here and here. This module is kind of difficult. I didn't have all of that. You know, I was so overwhelmed with university because to me, university, it was freedom because my father was super strict, so we couldn't do sleepover, we couldn't visit our friends. So 16 years university, to me, it was freedom. So I decided, and I ended up performing poorly. Not that I'm not capable. I am capable. I know I'm capable as long as I work hard.
But it was overwhelming.
Yeah, this was so overwhelming, you know, a girl from Masango.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. And it was so exciting. So, and then I felt like, okay, I don't want, because for me, even this title to being a first African woman to conduct a first African-led experiment, for me, it's so not about a title. It's about a next generation. So I don't want the next generation to experience, to make the same mistake Senamile that made. I want them to learn from me. I want to bring all those young women out there, and I want to change the perception that is around science. I want the women out there to see science not as a problem, but to see science as something that we can use to solve problems. Look at here we are communicating, and a lot of South Africa is watching us. Yay. What is that? It's science.
It's science.
It's science. Yes.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Yeah. That is so beautiful.
I love how you express your passion for it. And
I'm so passionate. Not
yeah.
only science, education as whole. Education.
Yes.
I feel that it's highly time. So education should not be a privilege of certain people, but everyone should have an access to quality. Quality is very, very important.
Yeah.
I don't care about quantity. I'm sorry about that, but I don't care about quantity. I only care about the quality.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of young women out there who are watching us right now who are so interested and whose interest has been sparked by this.
Okay.
What would you like to say to them about nuclear science and about the study of it, and what can they do?
Okay, what I can say is first, as women, you must believe in yourself. I think this thing is it's all start up here. We're told a lot of things as women that science is not for us, but science is for everyone, not of color, not whatsoever of gender. Everyone can do science. I want to tell you, listeners, watchers, whoever you are watching, that believe in yourself, believe in your dream, work hard and earn it. Science is not easy. You must prepare yourself mentally. That is why I have WISE Africa, so that I will tell all those girls that here it is, you can make it no matter what.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Yeah.
Sister thing, and sisterhood.
Oh, thank you, big sister.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your message and sharing with us today.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, what an incredible woman. And just goes to show education is everything. Now, it's the final day on Season 8 of Tropica Island of Treasure, Maldives. And one team's life is about to change forever. Brendan and Lazan of Team Red and Nay and Rudy of Team Yellow are going head-to-head in a puzzling treasure hunt of really epic proportions. It's going to take many physical, mind-boggling and gut-wrenching twists and turns to unlock that smooth R1 million grand prize. Which team do you think will get to the treasure first?
Tonight, in the season finale of Tropica Island of Treasure, Maldives, it's the ultimate treasure hunt for R1 million.
Get the clue, dash off.
Nay, help me out, look for it, help me look for it. Cannot find it, and I'm running back and forth.
Are you sure this is not?
My brain has never worked this hard before in my life.
Better bring your A game because Team Yellow is coming for you.
I'm not expecting it to be easy at all.
Yeah.
It's the season finale, tonight at 7:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Yo, a cool R1 million, just like that. Envious much. Now, it's the smoothest adventure yet, and you cannot miss it. So tune in tonight for the finale at 7:30 p.m. right here on SABC3.
Get a taste of the smooth island life and win big with Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives. Buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack, and you could win daily airtime prizes, Daniel Klein watches, American Tourista luggage for your next adventure, vouchers from loot.co.za to shop the hot daily deals online, and the grand prize of a Kia Picanto. For competition T's and C's, visit tropica.co.za. And don't forget to watch Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC3.
It's been nothing short of riveting and inspiring conversation here in the Loft, so we're still super excited. We've still got a live performance by music legend Jonina coming up after the break, so stay right there.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, two.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and after such an inspiring day in the Loft, we couldn't ask for anything better than to be serenaded by this legend. He's released more than 20 albums throughout his career, and he's been scooping up music awards for over 25 years, but he's still just as sharp as ever. Here to perform live, it's Jonina with Ngiltolile.
Thank you. Yeah.
siyathandana masihlale sithandana kupete lo mona baby masibambane sithandane sihloniphane kuphela inzondo emhlabeni ngibonga lethanda ngijulile yeah Nhliziyo ipholile ngibonga wena thando thando ngijulile hlobo zami ziphelile ngibonga wena sithanda oh oh masibonge sisathandana kulo mhlaba oswele uthando oh yeah baby sofasilahlane yeah 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 oh masibonge sisathandana kulo mhlaba oswele uthando oh baby sofasilahlane oh thando ngijulile Nhliziyo ipholile hlobo zami ziphelile yeah ngibonga wena sithanda oh hey moya wami upholile ziphelile yeah oh ngibonga wena sithanda yeah yeah oh hey ziphelile ngibonga wena thando oh yeah yeah ooh yeah yeah ngibonga wena thando ngijulile zipholile yeah yeah oh yeah ziphelile oh dali wami ngijulile oh yeah
Yeah. Well done, well done.
Thank you.
So talented.
That was lovely.
Thank you, much
So,
appreciated.
ladies, we are so inspired by your stories today, and I'm sure all our viewers are. And I think I just want to hear you just bring out all these inspirational messages and pour out your hearts to our viewers. So, just to wrap it up, what are your inspirational messages to our viewers?
Education. It's high time in South Africa to focus on education. As we have seen the bars in previous week, people were graduating left, right, and center, which is a good thing. And I want to encourage graduates to focus more on research, because as South Africa, we are a country that consume. We are not producing anything. It's highly time to have our in-house cars. It's highly time to have our in-house watches, our in-house production, our in-house whatsoever.
Yeah.
So education. As you see, countries like USA, they have a high rate of PhD students, people who graduate for PhD, and they are developed countries. And as if you check here in South Africa, you have few South Africans who graduate with PhD. It's highly time as South Africa to shift and focus more on education. All I can say, education.
Yeah.
Education. Thank you.
Good message. And from you as well, because, I mean, you said that your mother was such an inspiration to you. What were her messages that she imparted to you to inspire you?
She just reminded me of one of the things that she once told me. Like quality is very crucial. You know, she said quality is very important. Now she just said education. What she said to me was dedication and commitment. So I'm grateful and thankful to my mother. I think she's the reason why I think I'm the person I am as well. A loving father, a loving person, and I'm so happy and I'm lucky today. Sorry guys, don't be jealous. I've got all the beautiful women here with me. So.
But it's a common thread, dedication, and from
you have
you,
a very
Clarissa.
tight relationship with your mother.
I
Granny,
did,
yeah.
with my mom and my grandmother, even though my mother is late. And I think with the message that's being spread across the couch today is for women, I don't think they even realize themselves how much power you have and how much you, how much you possess as a woman. And just for young or old women, man, to just stick together and pull each other up at any given point in time, I think we still got it. We can do it.
What a time to be alive as a woman in this world at the moment, especially in Africa. It's just, it's really amazing.
Yeah. They say you can
Exactly.
go fast alone, but you can go much further together. So.
It's true. We've learned that.
We've learned that.
We've got, it's called bromance when it's men. What is it when it's girlmance? We've got a womance. Thank you so much to all of our guests. It's been such an incredible show having you all here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bunny. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night.
Absolutely.
And happy eating.
God bless you.
Love you all.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.